Yeah. Oh, baby. Come on, Marcus Conte, reporting live from New York City, live. What's up? Good morning. I don't know if that's too extreme of music early in the morning, but I like it, man. It feels good for me, man. Fucking, it's fun to do, man. So we got a lot of news today, man. Bernie fucking Sanders, all right? So it's early in the morning, New York time, and Marcus Conte is calling this election. Bernie Sanders has won the Iowa caucus. The evidence is in. The numbers are in. 97% of the vote is in. We are calling it for the one. Bernie fucking Sanders has won the Iowa caucus. No doubt about it, man. I'm going to show you the numbers. You're not going to see it on CNN. You're going to see all the fake shit on CNN, but we're going to tell you the real shit. We're going to give you the real. I got the real numbers, right? Real fucking numbers. And Trump, not guilty on all charges, all articles of impeachment, totally vindicated. Not guilty, says the good senators, right? They needed 2/3 of the vote. They didn't even get half. They needed 2/3. So they needed 66 senators to sign off. They only got like 48, 47. We'll look at those results. So that was a given. We knew that. But what an embarrassment to the Democratic establishment. And I have the real coronavirus numbers, right? There's numbers coming out of Taiwan that seem to be coming into the mainstream. I stumbled on them, and we'll take a look at those real numbers. A long time ago, you remember I said we found the nurse, the Wuhan nurse, who said about 100,000 people had died already, 90,000 people died already. Well, it turns out that that's not really that far off, according to some leaked numbers out of Taiwan. So this shit is spreading, man. This is, serious note. And also, Nancy Pelosi, remember when she ripped up the script? She ripped up Trump's piece of paper, right? It may have been an ethics violation. She's being brought up on ethics violations for what? Disorderly, I don't know what. Fucking, you can't do that shit, man. You're an elected official. You're supposed to be an outstanding citizen representing, and it turns out that she didn't represent, and a couple of senators got up her ass. So nervous Nancy better be nervous. Nervous Nancy, nervous. So how we doing out there? How you doing? What's up, man? What's up? Sterling Price in the house. Vinny DiMartini in the house. Magadoodle. Magadoobies. Magadoobie. I'm playing that funky music, white boy. That's right, man. Last night with 80%, they still had Buttigieg ahead. They changed it. This morning it's 90. If you look now, they got 97% of the vote up. So there you go, man. Good morning, everybody. So this is a meme. I'm into memes. I found this laying around in my folder, and it's from 2016. You remember when Hillary Clinton? It's a great diagnostic diagram of. Here's Trump the lion taking on Hillary Clinton, the boar, the wild boar. No competition. Trump on the wild boar, no competition. He'll eat her alive. But Trump versus Bernie. I see the Bernie bird. The bird of peace, the bird of truth, the bird of morality puts Trump in his place. He tames the wild beast. Trump versus Hillary is a war. It's a war that Hillary can't win because she's a liar and a pig. But Trump versus Bernie, Bernie can't. Trump can't touch that. Trump can't touch it. That's what we're talking about, man. So here we go. So let's talk about the Wuhan flu virus first, right? Because we had said all along that the shit is spreading, right? So these are official numbers. Wu flew live. Wu flew live as of 7:52 a.m. their time, I guess. They have 28,000 confirmed cases. If you're looking on the top row up here, 566 official deaths and 1,373 recovered I don't know what that means, but look at the chart. The chart, if you know anything about charts, if you follow stocks, this chart is going straight up. Straight up. Day after day after day. 500, 1,000, 1,500. These are estimated cases. 2,000, 25,000, 30,000. Wow. From 5,000, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,000 cases totally confirmed. Now, this is not, these are official numbers. So they're saying 25,000, between 25,000 and 28,000 confirmed cases, but only 5,066 deaths. All right. Let's look at more, because what you're going to see next is staggering out of Taiwan. It totally contradicts these numbers, and it looks like it's about 10 times worse. Here's another one. Global infection rate in mainland China, rest of the world, I guess, is the flat blue line. But you see how it it kind of took a dip at the top over here. I don't believe it though, right? We're not to believe anything that's coming out of China. And I had said that right from the beginning, that China is not to be trusted. So here is an article from Timan News. Right? Apparently it's a news outlet from Taiwan. Taiwan News. Taiwan News? Okay. Taiwan News. Tencent may have accidentally leaked real data on Wuhan virus deaths. This shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy. So here's the numbers. It's in Chinese, so we're gonna have to look at the interpretation, because I don't know what the fuck it says. But it says, let's see. So Taipei. As many experts question the veracity of China's statistics for the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak, Tencent over the weekend seemed to have inadvertently released what is potentially the actual numbers of infections and deaths, which were astronomically higher than the official figures, but are eerily in line with predictions from a respected scientific journal. Yeah, or the nurse on the ground actually saying it. Early as January 26, Netson were reporting that Tencent on its webpage titled Epidemic Situation Tracker, blah, 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 blah. Where's the numbers? They talk about the numbers. Here you go. So on Saturday evening, Tencent webpage showed confirmed cases of the Wuhan virus in China as standing as 154,000. That's 10 times the official figures. It listed the number of suspected cases as 79,800, 4 times the official figures. The number of cured cases was only 262, well below the official number that day of 300. Most ominously, the death toll listed was 24,589, vastly higher than 300 officially listed that day. So there you have leaked numbers. Where's the death one? What's 24,5? So here's death. 24,589 death. This is how many cases. The 79, what's the 79 number? 79 number is suspected cases. Suspected cases, people cured. 24,000 deaths, as opposed to the official number of 566 deaths. So that's what we're dealing with right now in China, right? So believe it or not, man, that's what's up, man. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm learning how to read and speak at the same time. Anybody who says socialist and Bernie Sanders in the same sentence, kindly time them out, all right? Kindly, if anybody uses the word socialism or communism and Bernie Sanders in the same sentence, time them out, because it's you need to listen and shut the hell up. You need to shut your hole and listen, all right? You don't have to delete it. Just time it out. No, don't block anybody. Just time them out. Let them sit there and suffer. All right? So we're not playing that shit anymore, man. Go somewhere else and spread your propaganda. All right? This is real business. So let's talk about Trump. Trump had an enormous victory yesterday. Trump gets his day in the sun. He was vindicated on all charges, not even close. Let's listen to the good Judge Roberts read the rules, and then this is only one vote. This was the article abuse of power, and then they did another vote. They did 2 votes yesterday, one for abuse of power and one for obstruction of Congress, right? Both had very similar outcomes. So let's just listen to the good judge.
In his or her place and vote guilty or not guilty. Each senator, when his or her name is called, will stand in his or her place and vote guilty or not guilty as required by Rule 23 of the Senate Rules on Impeachment. Article 1, Section 3, Clause 6 of the Constitution regarding the vote required for conviction on impeachment provides that no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. The question is on the first article of impeachment. Senators, how say you? Is the respondent, Donald John Trump, guilty or not guilty? A roll call vote is required. The clerk will call the roll.
So there you have it. Those are the rules. They need 2/3 of the vote, and it was by roll call. There was no hiding. There was no electronic submission. The senator stands in their chair and says guilty or not guilty, and this is how it went.
Mr. Alexander, not guilty. Ms. Baldwin. Guilty. Ms. Baldwin, guilty. Mr. Barrasso. Not guilty.
And it
Mr.
says
Barrasso, not guilty.
And it says down here, 67 votes needed to convict.
Guilty.
67 votes needed to convict. 100 senators, 67 votes needed to convict. Just jump ahead a little bit.
Wicker,
jump ahead a lot.
not guilty. Mr. Wyden.
So that's the final. Yeah, that's the final tally right there. Guilty 45. Not guilty. Guilty 48. 2 independents and 1 Republican. I think the one Republican.
In this article of impeachment, 48 senators have pronounced Donald John Trump.
Let's listen.
In this article of impeachment, 48 senators have pronounced Donald John Trump, President of the United States, guilty as charged. 52 senators have pronounced him not guilty as charged. 2/3 of the senators present not having pronounced him guilty, the Senate adjudges that the respondent, Donald John Trump, President of the United States, is not guilty as charged in the first article of impeachment.
Bang! Not guilty. Not guilty. 48-52. Right? And then there was another vote, and it came out 47-53. So again, 67 to convict. It was a total fucking blunder. The Democrats are sucking wind right now. What else do you say about it? It was a big distraction. Bernie Sanders was chained to the chair. Amy Klobuchar chained to the chair. All of that. They're trying to win an election. They're trying to beat Trump. Meanwhile, they're shackling their senators who are running for president to the chair, especially Bernie Sanders. But we know it's rigged against Bernie Sanders. We're going to talk about it in a second. Bernie Sanders got totally fucked, right? Totally fucked. So let's talk about, I want to leave that one for last. Let's talk about this quick story right here with, I don't know what else to say about Trump. Trump wins. Trump won the day, right? It makes them look so bad. All right. So here's Nancy Pelosi at the State of the Union when she tore up Trump's speech. Oh, what a statement. What a statement. I'm going to tear up your shit. And then she passed a comment. I forgot what the comment was. She said it was some sort of mockery or some sort of delusional speech. Now, there was a lot of delusional speech. There's a lot of delusion in politics. What Trump was saying, if you watch my video, the stream yesterday, I went through piece by piece of the State of the Union speech, and I don't agree with it, but who the hell am I? I'm nobody. I'm just a guy sitting in his room in Brooklyn. But if you're a senator and the Speaker of the House, you have to follow certain ethic rules. You can't just tear shit up, all right? You're not allowed to do that, man. Come on. You're supposed to be respectful. That's the president right there. You work for him. So anyway, she broke some. Did she break a law? Let's look. Nancy Pelosi's State of the Union stunt, according to the New York Post, stunt may have broken the law. Representative Matt Gaetz says. Matt Gaetz. So let's look. Republican Matt Gaetz filed an ethics complaint against Nancy Pelosi that said the House Speaker possibly violated numerous House rules and maybe even broke the law by tearing up a copy of President Trump's State of the Union speech. Florida legislator from Florida sent a letter to the House Committee of Ethics requesting they open an investigation and share the missive on Twitter. Gaetz wrote, quote, Speaker Pelosi's gesture was deeply offensive and appears to violate Clause 1 and 2 of House Rules 23, which dictate the House's official code of conduct. Oh, Nancy, you broke the code of conduct. You broke the rules, Nancy, and you're supposed to be the ruler. Her behavior does not reflect credibly on the House, nor does it follow, quote, the spirit and the letter of the rules of the House, unquote. Whoa, that's heavy, man. Gaetz in his letter said Pelosi's, quote, unseemly behavior certainly warrants censure. They're going to censure her. This is good stuff, right? I don't know if anybody agrees, but it's definitely. I mean, you can't just take your dick out, and you might as well just have. It's like Rush Limbaugh pissing off the top row, right? Or somebody else just flinging fruit at Trump while he's speaking. Isn't it the same? Maybe not throwing things, but definitely a gesture like pulling your ass out or swinging your dick in the top row or taking a piss. Or how about walking up into the middle of the aisle and taking a shit on the floor? Is that offensive? I think it is. Is it as offensive or more offensive or less offensive than tearing up Trump's speech while right after he's giving it in front of I don't know how many millions of Americans watching it? You're entitled to your opinion, but there are ethics in a court of law. In the Senate chambers or whatever the hell they are, right? They're in the chamber. They're in the official chamber. You just can't shit on the floor. You can't do that, right? So I agree with this. I think it's worth looking into. The lawmaker asked that after conducting the ethics probe, the committee make referrals to the Department of Justice for further investigation and prosecution. That's hysterical. They're going to give William Barr at the Department of Justice is going to get a referral. That's fucking hysterical. Pelosi alleges in the letter, quote, appears to be in violation of a law that prohibits willfully destroying paper or documents filed or disposed in public office. That's a stretch right there. Quote, there is no question that Pelosi mutilated, obliterated, or destroyed the copy of President Trump's address provided to her at the beginning of the evening, Gaetz wrote, quoting language from the law. After Tuesday night's State of the Union, Pelosi told reporters that she shredded the papers because it was, the courteous thing to do, a point Gaetz mentions in his letter as evidence of her alleged wrongdoing. So we'll see. We'll follow this shit, man. We shall follow this shit. We'll follow it. So let's see, man. Bernie motherfucking Sanders has won the Iowa caucus, right? Here's the result, right? So as of this morning, 97%, this is the New York Times reporting, 97% of the vote is in. That means there's 3% still outstanding. Right? So this is a point where now you can call it. You can't call it when there's 62% of the vote. But now there is, and it's not what the New York Times is saying. Right? So let's look at the numbers. It's saying that Pete Buttigieg, remember yesterday it was Pete Buttigieg had 27 and Bernie Sanders had 25. Now Pete Buttigieg has 26.2 and Bernie Sanders has 26.1. Now, there's this SDE number, We have a better view of the numbers in a second. But this SDE number says Pete Buttigieg, 550, Bernie Sanders, 547. All right? That is, with 3% of the vote still in, probably in Bernie Sanders stronghold areas. All right? Why are they holding out on the 3? They said they'll release the next 3% today, Thursday, later in the day. Why are they holding it out? Right? It's obvious why. Because the illusion has been for the last 3 days that Pete Buttigieg won. Right? How do you say somebody is winning? You can't say, if you have all of the evidence in your hands, if you have 100% of the vote in your hands, and you know what the outcome is, and this is the outcome, you can't honestly say that Pete Buttigieg is winning. You have the evidence to suggest that that is not the case, right? How could you say? It's like saying, it's like having a video of the 100-yard dash, right? And there's only 2 guys, right? And one guy is over here and the other guy's over here and they're running this way, right? And you stop the frame and say, this guy is winning. This guy's so far winning, but you already know the outcome. You know that this guy's going to run past him in a second. And then you show the whole clip. And it's like that's cheating. That's cheating. That's manipulating the consciousness. Right? And I don't watch mainstream media, but I guarantee if you go on mainstream media, you will see over and over again that they're not pushing back. Right? What's your job? Your job, CNN, is to validate the numbers, not to say, how come nobody's complaining that the results are dripping out? Nobody is complaining. This is cheating. This is election rigging. This is what it looks like in 2020. All right? This is what we could expect going forward. They did it in Iowa, where all the vote is out in the open, and because it's out in the open, we're gonna hold an election, but we're gonna hold back the results. That's cheating. That's cheating. That's manipulation. So let's look again, more of the numbers. So here is the SDE number that nobody seems to understand what the hell it means. But here's more of the raw. Here's the raw numbers right here. All right, take a look. So this is evidence of winning. This is where Bernie Sanders wins. Pete Buttigieg in the first round. All right, that means when everybody's standing in the room, who would you like to vote for? 36,718 people voted for Pete Buttigieg. 42,672 voted for Bernie Sanders. That is a blowout on the first vote. But that's not the rules, right? Because people can realign themselves. If their candidate doesn't get 15% of the vote, those people that didn't get to 15% can walk over and join another campaign. That's the way they do it in Iowa. Those are the rules. Granted, it's like those are the rules. That's the rules they play by. Fine. So when there was a reshuffle, when those people realign themselves, that's the final vote. Pete Buttigieg has 42,235. 42,235. Bernie Sanders has, 42,235. Bernie Sanders has 44,753. That's a win again. So Bernie Sanders, based on 97% of the vote, landslided the initial vote. Right? Going forward in any other state, there is no realignment. So Bernie Sanders is clearly slaughtering the field by 6,000 votes in a place that is relatively close, right? It's not a lot of votes. There's only 170,000 people, and he landslided it, right, in the first vote. In the second vote, with the realignment, okay, we'll give them their rules. He's still 2,000 votes ahead, right? Now we move forward, and here's where the numbers don't make sense. How does someone win the first vote? How does someone win the final vote? And then there's this other mysterious number where he falls short by 1/10%. 547 to 550. The numbers don't even make sense. And now you go even one step further, and you look at the delegate breakdown. Right, Pete Buttigieg gets 11, Bernie Sanders gets 11, and Elizabeth Warren gets 5. Now, there's 41 delegates to be had in Iowa. That doesn't add up to 41. That adds up to 27. 27? Yeah, 27. 11, 11, and 5 is 27. Where's the other 13? Where's the other votes? Where's the other delegates? What the fuck is going on here? Right? The numbers don't even add up. Why does Bernie Sanders get 11 and Pete Buttigieg get 11? It should be like, look, the bottom line is, if this is true, what's going on here, Pete Buttigieg had a good night. Pete Buttigieg had a damn good night. There's no doubt about that. Nobody's denying Pete Buttigieg his great night, but he didn't win. If you were to call this election, Bernie Sanders won by a fucking hair, right? By a cunt hair. Excuse me, that was crude for the morning. But he won by a razor amount, and that's without the. I guarantee you. I mean, it's 3 more percent of the vote. It's got to go in the hands of Bernie Sanders. Why else would the mainstream media hold it back? Why would the DNC hold back the results if it was to the advantage of Pete Buttigieg? They wouldn't, because it's to the advantage of Bernie Sanders. Is this coincidence? Is this a coincidence? Is this coincidental that all of this, everything that favors Bernie Sanders goes south, and everything that favors the establishment moderate is praised and held up for victory? Is it a coincidence? No, it's not. It's fucking cheating. God damn it. So there's the numbers, right? The numbers say who won the first vote? Bernie Sanders. Who won the final vote? Bernie Sanders. Who won? How did they split up the delegates? 11 and 11. That's a statistical tie. That is a tie. It's not statistical. It's 11 and 11. Right? Where is the number that says Pete Buttigieg won? How do you declare Pete Buttigieg the winner in any of these numbers other than this mysterious SDE number? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, man. So it's a fucking cheat. It's a rig. Here's my friend Nick Brana. Nick Brana, thank you, Nick Brana, tweeted this out, I think, a day or two ago. And Nick Brana was a Bernie Sanders confederate of some sort in 2016. Oh yeah, former national political outreach coordinator for Bernie Sanders 2016, and electoral manager with Our Revolution. So he knows Bernie Sanders. He's in there with these guys, and he understands the form of cheating, which he encouraged Bernie Sanders to form a third party. Which, again, I disagree with that, because if you think they're going to cheat you as a Democrat, you don't think just imagine how they're going to cheat you as an independent, where you have no power. Your people have no power, so it's a hard. The cheating is epic when you're against an independent. So here's what Nick Brana said. To recap, number one, Bernie leads Iowa polls. He does. Right? He's leading in the polls, right? Going into the thing, he's winning. Right? Number two, Iowa Dems deploy vote counting app developed by Hillary Clinton 2016 alumnus. You can't make that up, right? Now, I'm not talking much about the app and all that shit, because that's all bullshit. That's all smokescreen, right? You know what I mean? Like, especially in a place like Iowa, again, because it's very, very hard to cheat. They're trying to cheat. They already got caught cheating a few votes by saying that they gave a couple of Bernie Sanders votes to Deval Patrick and Tom Steyer, and the people in those districts says, whoa, wait, where, stop. There was how did Bernie Sanders' votes go to Tom Steyer? Where did Tom Steyer get a single vote? Right, they were all below zero. It's just they were stealing. So they've been caught the Iowa Democrats have been caught cheating already, right? And that guy that came out and gave that slick speech about 62% of the vote, we have all the vote, everything's accurate. That guy was paid off, man. That guy's a hack. That guy got paid off. Let me go back to this. So Bernie leads the polls, and then a voting app designed by Hillary Clinton's shit fails, right? The app was tested by Robbie Mook. Robbie Mook. You know who Robbie Mook is? Robbie Mook was one of the authors of Russiagate. Robbie Mook was right in that room with John Podesta and Hillary Clinton and Donna Brazile and Debbie Wasserman Schultz. They were in that room. And when they got caught cheating, they invented Guccifer 2.0. The Russians. 12 GRU agents swooped in and hacked the DNC. Robbie Mook was one of the mouthpieces of that story. Now, Robbie Mook is a paid gun, but he certainly was in the room and certainly a co-conspirator in the Russiagate narrative. And so he had his app there. A guy that you should trust, right? A fucking guy, right? Of all people, Robbie Mook's fucking head sticks out. Number 4, Pete Buttigieg pays $42,000 to app development. What? What is going on in politics? Where can you can buy a seat in the app machine, in the app that counts the votes? You get a box seat because you gave $42,000? That's fucking ridiculous, man. Number 5, Iowa Dems release partial results omitting Bernie's strongholds. Right? 62% of the vote in places that Buttigieg win. Again, it's the analogy of the race. They're showing the race at halfway, where the weaker candidate is out in front because you're not seeing the sprinter come and pass him in the end. That's what you're showing. That's what they're showing. That's election rigging. That's rigging the perception of what is actually going on. So Dems release partial results omitting Bernie's strongholds. Number 6, DNC taking over vote count. Wow. So the DNC, why is the DNC taking over the vote count? Because they have to, because they're fucked, right? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I mean, look, the bottom line is that this is Iowa, where everything is out in the open. The next caucus is Nevada, where there was cheating in 2016. They were busted. But it's still out in the open. Right? The caucus is still out in the open. Right? And with this reshuffle thing, it seems now that the reshuffle actually works because there's so many candidates. The front loading the primary with a lot of candidates is now having the adverse effect that the DNC probably wanted, because now with the caucus was Bernie's strength, and now with this reshuffle thing, there was always a reshuffle, but somehow with the numbers, the bottom line is that the caucuses are now working against Bernie Sanders, somewhat, right? Somewhat. So, but the point is that at least we can see the popular vote. And what did that popular vote say in Iowa? Bernie Sanders 6,000 votes out ahead of the closest competitor. That was the result of the election. And going forward in New Hampshire, that will be the result of the election. And that will be the result on Super Tuesday. But how do we know those numbers are accurate? How do we know? 2016, it was impossible to tell. Right? The whole shit was rigged, right? The whole shit was rigged. The exit polls didn't match the actual vote. Polling places closed. Evidence of actual... exit polls not matching the actual vote is evidence of election rigging. Whether the machines are rigged or the guy that's counting the machine, counting the votes inside the machine is playing games, doesn't really matter. The point is that when the exit poll, when you walk out of the area and someone asks you who did you vote for, there is a 98% chance they will tell you who they voted for. Tried and true. But there's only one company, what is it, Edison, that does it, and that actually conducts the exit polling. And when people actually wanted to see the exit polling, and they were so far off in 2016, they canceled the exit polling. When the exit poll doesn't match the actual vote by more than 2%, that is evidence of election tampering. In third world countries, it's not, the election doesn't count. But here, the exit polls are off by 12%, 15%, like in New York. It's unbelievable that, as my point is going forward, that's what we can look forward to, right, is the cheating. Right? So that's it, man. We got the numbers now. Bernie Sanders, it's official, has won the Iowa caucus. He has the most popular vote. He has the most pledged delegates. All right. Bernie Sanders won the mofo, right? So what's up, man? What's up, my brothers in the chat? How we doing, man? How we doing? So I'll read some comments, man. So Bernie wants college to be included, just like we pay for. Thank you very much, guys, for weeding out the. Look, there is freedom of speech. I get that, but when you come in to a chat and all you want to do is promote the anti-socialist, anti-communist rhetoric and promote Trump, that's electioneering, right? We know what you're doing. Right? It's not a mystery what you're doing. So don't do it here, right? You say it once, you give your opinion, let people slide. That's your opinion. After that, your opinion can't be swayed because you're not a human being. You're electeering. Electeering, is that the word? So good job, moderators. Just nobody's gonna get banned. If you got banned, I'll remove your ban. Just time people out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the truth, man. There's some truth right there. Giving you some early morning truth. The Bernie Sanders, got my Bernie Sanders hat on, man. I don't want to get emotionally blackmailed this time around, and I'm not. I am watching closely. Right, that's my job. Right, that was my job. That's how I got here. Right? I was a whistleblower. Right? I blew a whistle on the Department of Sanitation in a job, and they had an illegal quota. I said, "Oh, no. You can't do that. Right? You can't. Ticket quotas are illegal. Why? Because it forces law enforcement to see what they want to see." That was my claim to fame, if any, right? And I blew that whistle. But here, we have to blow the whistle on corruption. We have to, even if you don't like Bernie Sanders, we have election fraud in this country. You've got the President of the United States is up on the podium saying how everything is fantastic, how we've never had it so good, but the party is cheating. Right? They're cheating, and just because the cheating benefits me in terms of Trump. Just because Trump benefits from the Democrats cheating, it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right, is the point. You should be, if you're in politics, you should see corruption regardless of partisan politics, and you should expose it, just like with the impeachment stuff. But that's not the case. What we have is, if you're a Democrat, you vote to prosecute Trump, to find him guilty. If you're a Republican, you vote to vindicate him. Right? And that's not moral. That's not ethical. That's probably not legal. It's like you're not even looking at the evidence. You're looking at party nonsense. And that is the fundamental problem. That's called political corruption. That is political corruption. The people that are elected into office are not elected into office to go and vote along party lines. They're elected to represent the people. What do the people think? Right? And the people think that, overwhelmingly, Medicare for all in this country is a good idea. But nonetheless, you've got politicians, 80% of them vote against it or don't want to talk about it. That's corruption. That's political corruption at the highest levels. So how we doing, man? So Marks Conte reporting. Thank you. 65 people viewing. Thank you very much, man. 27 likes. Give it a couple of more thumbs up. Kindly become a Patreon of this channel too. Shit is getting harder and harder to survive, man. It's fucking harder and harder to survive. Thank you very much to the people sending in the one-time PayPal. I really appreciate that. Some good numbers coming in. I really do appreciate that. Become a Patreon for $1, $2. Not a big deal. Also, share these links. That's an easy thing to do, an easy way to support. Just hit the share button and send it down your social media, Twitter, down your Facebook thing, right? And, just tell people about it. Say, hey, this guy's doing some good stuff, man. Come in, contribute, become part of this early morning movement, right? This early morning, right? The early bird special, man. We're gonna keep trying to do this, man. So I hope people like the live stream as opposed to just the short clips. Let's read some stuff. 75% tax for all to pay for free stuff. Fuck you. Hippies. 75%. Okay, free stuff. That's another smear. Right? It's just a Bernie smear. There is no free stuff. It's your stuff. Be proud of your country. You have a vested interest in your country. You have a property interest in your country as a citizen of this country. To get college tuition free at city and state universities is not free stuff. It's an extension of social programs that people are, and I'll use the word, entitled to. It's your birthright as an American. That's not free stuff. Free stuff is when ExxonMobil gets $13 billion in free money for no reason whatsoever from the United States government. $13 billion for no apparent reason. When Amazon doesn't pay $35 billion in taxes due, that's free stuff. That's free stuff. When someone gets food stamps because they're hungry, that's not free stuff. That's a social net to save someone's life. Don't you see the difference? So the free stuff argument, that's stupid. That's stupid. Communism, socialism. Nobody fucking using those words even knows what they mean anymore. And they have way less impact, especially socialism with young people. Young people think socialism, they think social programs. They don't think of, Russian communism from the 1940s and starvation and all this shit, failed policies. They think of, advancing social programs. And we're a strong country. We can do that, right? We have a very stable economy, although, drastically, unequal. But it is stable. I mean, we do have an economy that is predictable. Just yesterday I'm walking down to the falafel wagon and I'm looking around. I'm saying, all the stores are open. People have, a menial job that they're overworked and underpaid, but nonetheless they have a job and they're happy and they're running around and money is still valid in this country. You can reach into your pocket and if you have some money, you can buy some falafel. And there is stability. And if you've never been in a country where there is no stability, where stability breaks down and suddenly your money from yesterday isn't worth as much as your money is today, right? And there's these wild swings in currency value and property values and that sort of thing, then, that's not where we're at. If you've never experienced that, then you wouldn't know just how stable we really are in this country. And yes, we do have a stable economy, but it's on the back of what? It's on the back of the military. It's on the back of spending $750 billion to be the police of the world. Right? That's why we have stable oil prices, stable this, stable that. But it's always on the back of our military and at the expense of countries that have to swallow it, like, OPEC nations, for example. It's not right, is what I'm saying. Right? So we need to move more towards a society of income and wealth equality, where 1% of the population doesn't accrue all of the wealth of the, all new wealth, right? Where 3 people have more wealth than the bottom half of the country, right? Where 80% of the country lives paycheck to paycheck. 50, 60, 70% of the country has less than $1,000 to their name. 1 in 7, 1 in 6 on food stamps. Like, these are the real statistics, right? People breaking their drugs in half, snapping their shit in half because they can't, afford their medications. So there you have it, man. Mark's Conte reporting. I'm going to take you guys out. The socialism weird is a nano, kids. Thank you very much for the moderation. If you're stuck on stupid and all you could say is capitalism beats out socialism, do some homework and shut your hole, because it's a little annoying. Oh no. Oh. Peace out.